Welcome to the More Than This podcast, where we dive into conversations with good friends to bring us out of our stress, away from our to-dos, and out of our head. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. It's great to have you. Make sure to subscribe and leave us a review to help others find out about the show. With that out of the way,
Wait. One last thing. If you're interested in supporting the show, please consider becoming a patron. You'll play an active role in making sure the content we produce continues to improve. Plus, you'll unlock some bonus content. Visit patreon.com/downwiththis. Now that that's out of the way, let's jump right in.
After I went to Chile and came back, so.
Right, and forgive me, but I just realized that I was totally forgot about recording. I just went right into the conversation, but so I hadn't been recording the first part, but it's okay. We can just jump in because I can totally see how kind of playing in high school is, I imagine, totally different than playing kind of at a collegiate level. Is it a lot more pressure
In college?
Yeah.
Not really. Like, I didn't, I mean, I competed against some people who were in the Olympics, and so I knew that I wasn't going to win. So
Nice.
It was just like, I'm here having fun, getting in the middle of the pack, trying not to be the worst, but I know I'm not going to win because, I mean, some of those people are going to the Olympics, and I just,
Right.
But it was a lot of fun for a year. Like I said, we got to travel around a lot, and I made a lot of friends from different parts of the country and everything. And then, but yeah, once I got married, I was like, yeah, I don't want to be gone every weekend.
You met your wife your first year, right? And then you went off to your mission for the LDS church for a year, right? To Chile?
2 years.
2 years, my goodness.
2 years.
And then you guys kind of kept in contact through all of that?
Yep.
Quite an accomplishment, especially nowadays, like for relationships. So props to you guys.
Well, thanks.
So going back a little bit, how was your experience in your mission, or like going to Chile?
It was awesome. It was a great experience. Yeah. I mean, there's the religious aspect of it,
Yeah.
Like doing something you believe in is always fulfilling.
Totally.
And serving other people, we did a lot of that. Like, I built a few houses and stuff that were I mean, here where there's more stringent building codes and everything, I'm sure that they would have been like, no.
Yeah.
But
they're like, get these people out of here. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. But just like helping people, we did a lot of helping people out with different things, and then getting to know people from a different culture.
Yeah.
I mean, clear across the world was pretty interesting, and definitely
how did that
changes you a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, because I know you moved, and you'll have to remind me, but you weren't from Idaho, right? You moved here.
Yeah, we were from southern Utah originally.
Southern Utah. But so because I was gonna say, how was, so when you went to Chile, and I don't know how to say it, if I should say it with an English accent or Mexican accent.
You can say it however you want. I say it with an English accent because I speak English.
Chile. So how was it for you going to Chile? And kind of, was it like having that culture shock? Because at least speaking from Idaho, like, it is kind of, I don't want to say sheltered, but I mean, we, like you and me, we grew up, we went to high school in a pretty small town. So I can only imagine how was that for you, going from that to Chile, to a completely different way of living?
I mean, I was in a lot of smaller areas, like country areas in Chile. And then I was in a few cities too, but it was, I don't know, man, it's definitely a different world. People just have different ways of living. I don't know.
Totally.
You kind of don't know what to expect when you're going to a country like that, because I didn't even know where Chile was really.
Yeah.
When I found out I was going there.
I'm sure our high school teachers will be proud to hear that.
Yeah. I mean, I knew it was down there, but I didn't know hardly anything about it. But yeah, going there and then realizing, because it was July here when I left, and so it was really hot, and July there is the middle of the winter. And it's not like I don't know, you just think of South American countries and you think that it's going to be a warmer climate, but their climate was actually pretty similar to ours.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so it was like freezing cold. So I got really sick within like the first week and a half.
Oh,
and I was like, oh my gosh. I didn't understand what anyone was saying really.
you're like, I need to get back.
But yeah, you just kind of adapt and see that their life it's more different than you would expect in some ways, and in other ways it's like more similar than you would expect.
Yeah, how was the language barrier for you? I remember before you left, like we hung out the summer right before you left, because we had just graduated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we had just graduated, and then you stayed that summer, and we hung out. I know I was supposed to help you practice your Spanish, and I don't think I ever did. So how was it that for you?
It was definitely hard in the beginning. I mean, I took Spanish for a couple years in high school, so
yeah,
Mr. Moretto,
we were in
Mr.
that
Moretto
class,
taught
right?
me a few things.
Yeah.
he did a good job, but yeah, going there, they just like some countries, all Latino countries. I mean, you probably know this better than me, but they all speak differently. They all have their own accent and their own words that they use for different things.
Yeah.
And so there's definitely they speak really fast in Chile, and they don't enunciate like a lot of people speaking if you're going to talk to someone in the street, a lot of times they don't enunciate things because they're just so used to kind of like us speaking
with English,
slang.
right? Yeah.
Yeah. And so at first it was like, oh man, trying to understand what people were saying. But I was actually with a Colombian companion, a kid from Colombia, and he didn't speak any English at all. And that was
so
like
you guys balanced each other out?
Yeah, and he just loved to talk. He's actually like a celebrity journalist type guy in Colombia now. But he just loved to talk, and he was like really fun to talk to. And so him constantly speaking Spanish to me, I just kind of had to have a crash course there.
Yeah, I mean, hey, that worked.
And so after I was with him, I like could understand people quite a bit better. And then from there on, like towards the end, you could just, I mean, you felt almost as comfortable as if you were speaking English with people.
Yeah. How was the food situation for you?
It was pretty good. I mean, it's not the type of food you would expect. It's not spicy or anything like that. It was more like a lot of meat and beans and potatoes. So kind of like what you'd eat here, but they prepared a little bit different. They ate tons of oil and tons of bread though. Like their salad, they would get their salad and pour like a ton of salt and a ton of oil. And so your salad was like not healthy at all. But
they're like perfect.
Yeah. It's definitely, and bread. They eat a ton of bread too. So we ate a lot of bread, drank a lot of Coke. A lot of people had diabetes.
Oh jeez. Yeah, I mean Coca-Cola is huge in Latin American countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it is, so I'm a little biased because I always say, and coming from Mexico, the Coke just tastes different over there. The Coca-Cola, I don't know. It's just crispier for some reason.
I think it's because they used real sugar, like a different type of sugar or something. I don't know. It depended on the batch in Chile though. Like,
yeah,
you had to it came in big plastic bottles that were more heavy duty than the plastic bottles that it comes in here, like 2-liter bottles. And so you had to return them to buy another one. And so they'd reuse the plastic bottles. And yeah, it depended on the batch because some tasted like it all tasted different.
How was it? What was the first thing you and you might not even remember this, but what was the first thing you ate when you got back?
I don't remember.
No,
I think my family wanted to go to a buffet or something, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I've just been on a 14-hour plane ride. I just want to go home and sleep.
Yeah, I bet. How was you're a pretty independent guy, right? Like from what I know of you, was being away from your family something that you had to get used to, or like how was the contact with them?
Not really, because they moved to Hawaii the day after I graduated. So we moved to Hawaii, and I was just there a couple months, and then I came back and went to school here. So I only saw him on Christmas that whole year anyways. And then I went back for a few weeks before leaving to go on my mission. And so I hadn't really been around them a whole lot for the past year at that point. And so it was a little bit, I mean, of course you miss your family, but it wasn't as bad as if
like you weren't really left, like homesick.
Yeah, not really.
Huh. Yeah, I mean, I kind of figured, just because, like I said, knowing you seem like a pretty independent dude. So, but I just thought I'd ask.
You miss some, like, the familiarity of America, though. Like,
do you
that's
really?
my one thing about, like, moving there, because it was a conversation that you'd have a lot of times with other missionaries and people, and they'd be like, "Would you ever move here?" And you're like, honestly, but I think the biggest thing that would be difficult for me would be missing just random things that we have here or there that you just kind of part of life that you don't have down there.
Almost take for granted at a point.
Yeah, it's just the whole whatever feels like home,
Yeah, totally.
But I definitely was sad when I left. I definitely missed parts of it.
What were some of the things that of that familiarity aspect that you're talking about? Just out of curiosity.
I don't know, just music.
Yeah, I mean,
just food, music. Just I mean,
the
even
culture.
TV shows and things like that you see an advertisement for or something. It's just all completely different there, and so it's kind of like it has been with the virus, with COVID and everything. It was like there's so many things. The world has changed so much in the past 6 months. That you're like, this doesn't feel like, I don't know,
normal.
You don't feel continuity with the rest of your life because it's changed so much in the past 6 months that you kind of are living in a different world than you were before. It was almost a little bit like that.
Oh, totally. Oh man. Oof.
How have you been doing with
the Rona situation?
Yeah.
I mean, weirdly enough, it hasn't. I mean, it's obviously changed my life, just like it has anybody. Just kind of being more cautious and stuff. But as far as like my day-to-day work, since I was working from home for like a year with my business already, I mean, I still work from home, and thankfully, I mean, things did slow down there for a little bit, so I was a little bit nervous for a while, but I mean, thankfully things are starting to pick up now. But as far as my day-to-day, it really didn't change much, other than having to wear masks everywhere, like the usual stuff. So if anything, I in a very selfish way, I think I actually enjoyed having my roommates here, just because they had to stay home for work, and it was kind of nice to, if I was working on a project, to just be like, okay, I've been staring at the screen for too long. What do you think, or what do you see? How you kind of would at a print shop in my case, or in a ad agency, just asking your coworkers for input. So it was nice to have my coworkers for that, and not just be me all day. My roommates, I should say. Yeah.
That's good. Finding some silver linings.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta, right, at this point.
Yeah.
So then the other big thing that I wanted to talk with you about was, so you're a father now?
Yeah.
How has that changed? I mean, obviously that's probably changed your perspective on life and how you go about things, but
you get a lot less sleep. You're standing up and sitting down a lot because, well, our little girl has started crawling probably 2 or 3 months ago. And so now she's like trying to climb over everything and stand up on everything. And so it's just like, we put out all these little toys and stuff, brightly colored things, and we're like, oh, she'll go play with those. Nope. She just goes over to whatever can fall on her, or like cords, things like that. And it's like, oh, get up, go bring her back. She's content for like 2 minutes, and then she's looking around to get into something else. So it's definitely a different experience, but it's a lot of fun.
So my youngest nephew, he's about to turn 1, and he's barely starting to crawl around. And you're totally right. Like at first, it's cool to see how, and I don't know if this was the case with your daughter, but at first, like, my nephew was kind of unsure, like he would want to reach for something, and now all of a sudden, like, it took him like 2 days, and now like he's like crawling everywhere, like you're like one place and then he's on the other side of the room before you know it. So it's crazy.
They're fast.
How has it been, like, just watching her grow in general, and like, does it scare you a little bit, like, in a way, like, oh my gosh, one day?
A little bit, yeah. Yeah, definitely a little bit. It's a lot of fun watching her grow, and it's just crazy. Well, my wife and I will be like, can you believe that last year at this time she wasn't even born yet? Like,
yeah,
we weren't even that close to her being born last year at this time. So just seeing how much she's grown, and she's like standing up on stuff and everything, it's pretty crazy. And seeing her little personality develop, she's definitely got a feisty personality. When she doesn't get what she wants, she'll let you know.
Obviously I can't even imagine what that's like, but just kind of living it through my own.
One day, man. One day.
One day. One day, with the Rhoda. I was like, that really slowed things down for me on my timeline. But
don't worry, so it'll be over before too long.
I can't. Hopefully, right? But remember when we used to say that, like, when everything first started, we were like, oh, by like March, everything's gonna, or not March, because that's when it started, but like they were saying by like June or July or August, it was going to be over.
Yeah, either it was going to be over or everyone was going to be dead. One of the two.
Oh, jeez.
Depending on who you were talking to.
Yeah, that's very true. But we're still here, and then things are still pretty much, they're better, but pretty much the same, right? So you just never know. So you're a very outdoorsy person too. That's one of the things that, like you and our other group, core members or crew, you guys really pushed me out of my comfort zone in that regard. What's your favorite activity? Because you do everything, like, right? You like fish, you camp, you hunt. Like, I don't know, like, what is it about the outdoors for you?
I like fishing a lot and hunting and camping and whatnot. I don't do a whole lot of like mountain biking or rock climbing or anything like that. I don't know. That's just, I just would rather spend my time doing the other things, I guess.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I like being out, kind of out there by yourself, and I don't know. You just get a different feeling when you're somewhere with just a couple friends or by yourself, up away from everything else, because you don't worry about stuff that you have to worry about, like work and everything else.
Right, your usual
paying bills,
stresses.
whatever it is, you can kind of forget about those things, and it's almost like, I don't know, it just feels right. I guess.
Yeah.
It's just it's a challenge. I think that people are happy when they're challenging themselves.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you.
I think without a challenge, you kind of just fall into not feeling a whole lot of meaning in life, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, no,
that's just
I'm
like
right
looking around at how things have changed, even since we were in high school. Just seeing a lot of people that are kind of unhappy.
Yeah.
And I think a big part of it is that everything is just so convenient now. You don't even have to. You don't have to leave your house anymore if you don't want to.
Yeah.
You can have people bring food to you, and I mean, I guess it was that way a little bit when we were younger,
but not as much.
You had to pretty much eat pizza.
Yeah, I mean, remember, I still remember when Amazon started doing like the toilet paper thing, and I was like, what the heck? And I mean,
Amazon Prime and everything.
Yeah, I was like, what? Now with the Rona, obviously, that's definitely a plus. But
yeah, it's definitely nice.
Totally right.
Yeah, but it like if you don't want to leave your house, you don't have to. And I think
right.
that, I don't know. I think that to be happy, you kind of have to challenge yourself.
Yeah.
In one thing or another. Find something that challenges you to help you feel fulfilled.
I'm right there with you. I completely agree. That's one of the things I appreciate about you. One of the, what I remember though, is the very first time that I went fishing actually was with you and Jason
Yeah.
right after graduation.
Yeah.
And man, I remember the first time I freaking hated it. Cause I liked spending time with you guys, but like I expected to get a fish like right away, and I think that first time I didn't get anything, so we were just.
I don't
there
think
for,
anyone
like,
did.
yeah,
We were just kind of screwing around at that
yeah.
point.
I was like, so this is fishing, huh? And
Yeah.
but
You
then
caught some fish now though.
yeah, now I do by
When you
the
came
by
when
the
you came
grace
to
of
Logan.
God. Yeah, they just jump. I think I get lucky by sometimes, but hey, it works.
We got it on camera and everything.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
cooperated. It was a paid
no
actor.
kidding. I even named it Timothy. I still remember. Uh, but yeah, and I know this last time was a little bit different because we went camping. Was it 3 months ago? 4
Yeah,
months ago? About
3 months ago. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a little bit different. But yeah, I was talking with Jason about how you guys kind of helped me get down a steep hill. And how you guys just did like a human chain and just basically tossed me from one person to the other. And I swear. No, I appreciate that's like I said, that's one of the things I really enjoy, that you guys really push me outside of my comfort zone, because if it were up to me, I would not do how the things that I do in nature especially. But yeah.
Yeah, man, you gotta come along and yeah.
No, you know what else I thought about, Camden? Do you remember like right before your mission, you left with your mission, like you went to say goodbye, and I literally was like, I just sobbed when you left.
I had forgot about it, but now I remember.
That's still one of my. I mean, I didn't sob. I like shed a couple tears, but
no, you were sobbing. No, just kidding.
Yeah, you were just like, it's okay, I'll be back. You know what I tell myself to make myself feel better is that I was like, well, Camden probably just waited till he got in his car, and then he probably shed a couple tears.
Oh yeah, man.
Yeah,
for sure.
Of course, of course, right? Yeah, just
for sure.
Just tell me that. Yep. What makes a true friendship?
I think someone that you can count on. I think is the main thing. The people. I don't know. I'm not an extremely outgoing person. You know, I kind of get lost in my own world sometimes.
Right.
But I think that someone you can count on is definitely someone that that's worth having around, you know, that's worth maintaining a close relationship with.
So you're not on social media, right?
Nope.
Do you think that has helped you or kind of hindered your ability to kind of maintain that closeness with people? And that's just out of curiosity.
Honestly, I like kind of remembering relationships for what they are. Ooh, when I'm in close contact with a person, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like I used to have Facebook, like back when everyone had Facebook.
Yeah. Back when that was the thing, yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know, you just, because people change, and then you only get snapshots of their life, I guess, through social media. And so something that they say or whatever that you disagree with, or I don't know. I just prefer to remember a person and think of a person as they were when I knew them, you know? Mm-hmm. And then when I find, like, when I hear something about how their life is going, or if they've had some big change in their life, like getting married or having a kid or getting a new job, I mean, of course, I love to hear those things about people that I was close with.
Yeah,
but
totally.
I don't know. I think with social media, I just try to kind of live in the moment. I don't know, focus on what's going on, the people that try to have a strong relationship with the people that I am around and everything. But there's obviously those people like our little group, you know, that you stay in contact with no matter what, just because you share a pretty strong bond from an important time in your life, you know?
Yeah,
so there are obviously people throughout that I've met or been close with that I stay in contact with, but in general, I like those people. I'd rather just text or call than you know, social media, because it really doesn't give a full picture of a person's life. You don't don't really know how things are going for a person
through social media. Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. If I could, I would be off social media as well. So I'm yeah,
part of the job though, right?
I agree. It's part of the job, unfortunately for me. Okay, so second question, who is one person that has impacted your life in a positive way, and how?
Well, you've impacted my life in a positive way. Are you off limits, Miguel?
I mean, no. I mean, I can. I'll pay you later, but
I'm gonna use you then because.
Oh, thank you.
I've always admired how positive you are. Like,
oh, thank you, man.
We could be. Miss Bunn hated us so bad from. All I'd have to do is like give you a look, and you would just bust up laughing.
Yeah.
I remember several times when Miss Bunn kicked you out of class, and I felt really bad.
That was torture.
But you're just always a positive person. When I think of you, the first thing I think of is just you're always smiling and you're always positive, and that's definitely a very important and admirable characteristic to have, I think.
Thanks, man. Wow, I really
having a person around that's positive and that is up for anything,
yeah,
it definitely make things better. So
wow, thank you. I mean, thank you so much. I mean, the admiration, it goes right back at you. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
So third question, what is one piece of advice you would give the youngest member of your family?
The youngest member of my family. Do you know my brother Kenyon? Do you remember him?
Yeah, like I don't think we actually like ever met, but I know of him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's an 8th grader now.
Wow. Uh-huh.
And so, I don't know. I give him a lot of advice, but probably not all of it's good advice. I don't know. But I think just to be kind to other people. I mean, I don't know. It's really, it sounds cliche. And but when you're in high school, you're worried about, and middle school, you're worried about your own problems.
Yeah.
And so I don't know. It's a hard time. I don't know how to phrase it really, but it kind of takes a special person to be kind to everyone during that time of your life.
I totally agree with you.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Most people, and myself included, that age, definitely, like, looking back, you're like, oh my gosh, what were you doing?
Like, yeah, no,
why did you think that was a good thing to do or a good way to treat other people? And not that, I don't know, not that I was like really mean to everyone or something like that, but I think just seeing how being kind to someone who maybe things aren't going that great for can impact their life.
Yeah.
I think that at that age, you can really do a lot of good and make a positive difference by being kind to other people.
No, I mean, I couldn't have said it better myself. I remember, middle school and high school, especially at the beginning, they're rough years, man. So it's
cringy, man. Thinking back about things you did and said and wore, and whatever, you're like, oh my.
It's best not to remember those times.
But it's kind of funny though. You can kind of look back and laugh at most of it.
Right, like now looking back, yeah. But I think it's great advice that you give your brother for sure.
You've been listening to the More Than Disc podcast. Before you go, don't forget to give us a quick rating and review, follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and visit downwithdisc.com to stay up to date with the latest information about the show. Have a great rest of your day, rest of your week, and we'll catch you on the next one.